Hello, good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, and again, it's an opportunity for us to have another legal hour. I want to welcome everybody who has joined us tonight, and I will entreat you to share the videos. I'm going to switch straight into Chi because tonight's program is going to be done in Chi. Those of you who have been following us, you would have realized that last week we had a program on Thursday and Tuesday. We had our learned host, Mr. Joseph Nikwe, who took us through how children and young people are recruited into the gang culture. I'm sure a lot of us have learned a lot of lessons that will enable us to coach our children and guide them through the path that can lead them to success in life. Tonight, I'm going to do a very special program on immigration. It's something that is so unique. And obviously, as you be aware, sometimes we do this program in Twi language. Tonight, I'm going to do it in Twi. And then on Thursday, our learned host, Mr. Joseph Nikwe, MC Chaka, will join us for the English version. So those of you who sometimes follow us in English, there's an opportunity for you to learn Twi. For last week, throughout last week, it was a very good time. A program on how young people are recruited into the gang culture. Your host was Diako actually a lot of experience in terms of Nkofuayana, Omodi Awua Chomako Shefiase. Niama out me ye de boa almost moba out and before the sentence report near the church mu ekwan ankola mo krum, especially krum for Ghana phone caller and before in general. Said ya niama bibri drew bonnet town we near there I am uncofon eco prison. Ankola 13 years, 11 years a more yen. A church in name has the ene yet dafofro. And then me baba chire for immigration. Because we better say immigration, your life. Your life, says you see how we now call Ghana, immigration is your life. We are Ghana in our work, say immigration is your life. Into the idea new one grow. Into another dream, me can't immigration watch some. Me baba discuss it be a strong con. And the entire make us a strong corner say, send the and why I'm German, when you say me bar. Sir, I dare not cry a year, me the big common go for any antia see. Intiana me barbe chere, a dear a ferno, a quainting, say what tranquil ha. Ha in fear to do I he, and I say what tranquil ha say. And sana, and ye beer, so by no, unyama be woo. No, I bear my man and papa some more. In fear, Henna said what Tranquil say, and son of one young crata. Now, a free be 20-year rule, bet church. Now, my side church, be a friend a 10-year rule. Say what Tranquil had 10 years, sir. A quiet no sober fast war, and ye beer would be young crata. Bet you them call so, our matna, I had 10 years in crata bay and almost be. Enti me baba to me boas ya sepesa nyama we nyina mu akire mu na mesrew safo na abeka me ho a share video no oba share no Facebook ana say mu amutie wo YouTube ana say Facebook no mo be share na mo invite mo na fofo mo busuafo na mama mo ate ase say we are Thomas from City Law Solicitors abetra na kwemiom odi asempa abidwa obechechre ekwan ebefa so a ya tena krumu ache no bia ya try bia anyeyi krata bi wu a wa ye no be miensa anyeyi wadi aduru anyeyi ekwan bai na sa nipa no no ma no so betimi agina so de nyan krata eno na na dwumi ba ne mo eba be didi ho enkomo ti mesra mo amabeka ye ho no mo make sure say mo be send link no akọ achiri. Me baba call short break. Me the topic ya me baba ya to dwa idie. Me call short break ba. Na ma to me bo ase. A chire nkofum ɛkwan a ɔmo fa so a ɔmo betumi atena kurom ha akyɛ na ɔmo anya ɔmo nkrataa a ɛyɛ 10 years or 20 year rule no meba abɛto me bo ase akyerɛkyerɛ nkurɔfoɔ nti sɛ wabɛka me ho anadwo yi a menkɔ baabiara sɛ afei so na wɔba abɛka me ho a agya sɛ wote sɛ advert ne ba na kyerɛ sɛ meyɛ crowd sɛ within the next 2 minutes no mede topic no ba abɛto twa nti mesrɛ wo menkɔ baabiara tie me hwɛ me na mede asɛmpa ɛbrɛ wo in the next 1 or 2 minutes menkɔ baabiara. Hello, Madam Winase. Said you make and Ananki, a very bisonco. You have discussed a choir and go for Etnaha na Omocha Omutimi Faso Inya and Crata. And yene and some mammy baby can be crana a very common to most of us. Now, minim say a idea very common. But a idea and so a won in ye. And then me baby share and go for a choir or more fast or now my trunk room my cha or meet me a faso na anya and crata. Na me chere for 10 years which is in field to quine and 20 years quine. Na ma chere for other ways in so and so no we mramu no e ma quine momo so ye nkrata. Enti no se wa be kan ho ase that pribia me kan no share video no. Na men say me go straight into it. Me started with 10 years. Now, so we shame one, Chrome has say, you know. For under the immigration rules, you know, 276, you know. Uchimu who say, Obi better Chrome has say, Ebiana waba visit, and saying under the new case law about Petrobuna visit Chrome counter count. Bia wabetna krum ha say okoba, but most of the time or spending most of the time no e wo ha say. And at time bia so na all krum ha say no okuta valid visa. Na visa na bitima say bia student visa. E bitima so bia na waware why student for some time na bia wa switch to spouse. With my so be a obansra or coba be 10 years multiple visit visa. Or tra kakra now a coffee kakra. Obi also so a student or go square abumu PhD. What tra ache. And this a 10 years na. Now in this case no. Yeah share kofwa. Omatna lawfully for 10 years. So they call it lawful continuous residence. Now, my Bible share the definition of lawful continuous residence. Now, within our word, ya brofuya makan. Makan yama miensa. Makan lawful. Kese eno so ye ade ese me kire mu twi mu maka continuous eno so ye ade ese me kire mu twi mu na maka residence masaka 10 years which is in fear to it may be taken one by one mo fan cheme twi no eto bia na atosini kakra as we see me here and you know. Maybe I started with lawful. So that me shall say American. Lawful no just say. At now krum has seen oh visa valid. Na mama enhwe nkofo a visa valid. Ibu or visit visa. So that me can be 10 years multiple. Or betna krum has omu ana watwa no akofie aba. And we shall most of the life no or spend krum has say omu ana watwa no na wakwaba ebu waku onya 2 years visa omo na wasan asan kwaja another 2 years 5 years majority of the time ebu waku oba ha beto ade obi didwa saa na waku fie obi kura no bia na oye student oku school wa ha se and we hwe ebi kura na officer bi eno osweche and we hwe mo asan kofo na omo officers ni na no Our visas are valid, no. Or what you lawfully. So visa no kwa ma when you jumana say valid visa na lawful. Okay. We need few on more. Mama share residence na nene continuous no so. So we show munswa apart from this no munso so more, for example parent root ubo wa na ba adi 7 years intino because of that yaman 2.5. We show one almost said 10 years root to indefinite leave to remain. And also a lawful residence. But me baba church them conform few things. First point. Say say continuous residence na under the rules of long residence no. Na che say wo de bom emra wa do nkofo ntie ne ye because sadie we sometimes on mo kwa mo parent root here mo fi say automatic say obviously no nya 10 years na when you indefinite no. O ma ntie ne ye. So share the rules under the continuous lawful residence na for 10 years na. Na chere say say a year no we need more than 180 days abroad. Now we may convert this 180 days to months. We divide 180 days by 30 years. We benya 6 months. Not just I will show you 180 days no. A year behind us, I was spending at least 6 months for her see. That is for her absence, which we spend abroad no, in a year. But some person rely on continuous lawful residence for 10 years now. Again, there is another element of absence I am also taking into account. And I'm a person for 14 years because my children for a lot of categories are 10 years, even parent root you grandpa and also a 10-year root. Uncle or more than 7 years, I had a 10-year root. Again, with time, I may spend half of life and also because there's a lot of confusion between the age of 18 years and 24. No, almost say almost so more than 5 years on that visa now. Move to me, I apply to request for indefinite leave to remain. I will explain it. But I'm saying the American say, we share 10 years. Medical say, yeah, no, you're entitled to spend not more than 180 days abroad. That 180 days, we divided 30 by 180, you get 6, so it is 6 months. But so person who claim 10 years lawful residence, there is an advantage, especially for more and more parents' route, because it's sometimes even quicker. So when you indefinitely to me, by using the 10 years lawful residence, so our parent route as well. But before I buy a make a continuous, it means say, who was I leaving also? The total of 10 years, and this absences are, and at time I was still a man on there, and I want to go Ghana, and this out the need now boom for 10 years now, a year more than 540 days. More way mathematics, and I'm sure it's a 540 no divide there, you probably get around 18 months. For the whole 10 years, And it's Ausha Muna. Not just say, claiming 10 years lawful residence, There are two important points I still taking into account. One, a year, and it's already more than 180 days. Oh, I'm on it. And that 180 days, is 6 months. And it's the whole of 20 years and so no. Sorry, 10 years and so no. The whole of 10 years continuous and so. And he said, oh, the last time I was still outside, no. What do you mean, Abu say more than 540 days? Now, my mathematics tells me that 540 days, and we divide it by 30 now. It works out to about 18 months. And so, what absence and about 18 months now. There is, like I said, one year problem. Some poor parent root to no so cry no. Now, who claim you might have a problem. Under the 10 years lawful residence. Now, Mama, what is the advantage of using the 10 years lawful residence, especially parents or more 10-year root to no so? We all say before Obenya indefinite, say why renew Sardian 4 times. That's fine. But technically, no share anymore. We have what they call paragraph 3C right. The paragraph 3C, the Immigration Act, paragraph 3C of the Immigration Act 1971, clearly in all the application, Echo Home Office, and Sana Wu. Now say, I will more on 6 months, especially these days here, the application too much, we did 6 months, COVID by. And to share one, so your parent now 10-year rule to Nasa. By the time I was Beyebenwo indefinite, no. So then be out the application 2 minutes 6 months, times 4, no. Another 2 years, I bet almost 12 years. And so now Beyebenwo indefinite leave to remain. Which means, obviously, no. My case under paragraph 276 of the immigration rules, no. So what the 10 years law for has, it doesn't matter. Visa crow also. A bit my visit visa, a bit my student visa, a bit my spouse, parent route, all those categories of visas. If you crow or such a switch, or the Sanko Hakakra, no, was a Sanko Hakakra, or by you are now or skilled workers, be previous now tier 2, tier 4, and all those people switch all those ones. But in short, no, what do you mean now? Boom, now you have 10 years and now you are entitled to indefinitely to remain. Because why lawfully and gaps in it, because gaps are going to be taken out is 540 days in total for the 10 years or 180 days per year. And the woman share munacha say, so you'll be every time you renew now book no kwa home office will be about 6 months. By the time Obabedi as a parent of 7 years a year now. By the time Beyebenwo indefinite was spent far more than this 10 years here, I must say, when I'm sorry, Beyebenwo indefinitely to me. Was spent far more than that. In fact, sometimes even 12 years. Because imagine every time I will renew a be a DBA 6 months, 4 months, be a DBA 5 months, and Sana be a mom make a decision. But because of paragraph 3C right, it means say well renewed 3 times 7.5. Now say we are by your last renewal. Now say be our shame more. Anytime be our decon be our more most be about 6 months no. Not just our sure. Even on your 4th renewal now person renew now one year total of 10 years. Already no not be able to do 10 years. And you are not so malquine for you to use the 10 years lawful residence to apply for indefinite leave to remain. Which means Beyebenwo indefinite leave to remain no quicker than some parent route now 10 years no. So that's an advantage for assurance. So that saves you obviously maybe 24 months or 2 years and can be trained now on no recourse to public fund for another 2.5 because even though technically almost say 10 years route to indefinite leave to remain no. We share renewals now intervening period now not just say technically no. What the 12 years. Since the percent go for shares now we take advantage of this 10 years lawful residence. Obviously no. Because Home Office in him say is sometimes quicker route. And 10 times of which many indefinitely leave to remain through that route. You're quite strict. Already, I mentioned 540 days, the whole of 10 years, and it's outside for more than that. And I say, in the course of 10 years, and it's days, I would have more than 180 days. Now, I'm going to also, and because some are strict, sometimes even 543 days, me find say absence, who fell for me, say, that ben now too quite call Ghana, that ben now buy, go for take it for granted. But the truth is that, me, we should say, then they refuse to go for. Now, I want to share a case, a very recent case law, the case of Chan, about a child, what room, how go school, what did 10 years, now I call China, Kakra, now I call Selena Bushman for. Sana, or an application that a 10 years route, which means say, it's a very recent case where the 543 days abroad, just say, and then about 3 days. And you have Home Office guidance, and I'm calculate 540 days and to be 18 months. And this case went all the way to the upper tribunal. The tribunal confirmed that, in fact, this 540 days at Home Office, now it was wrong. In actual fact, there are some calendar months are more than 30 days. So currently, even though it's not in the Home Office guidance, if you are going by the case of Chan, then it means that so absence in 548 days, Home Office should not use it to refuse you. That is an update, and that is favorable update from Kofua. One reason or the other, they want to rely on the 10 years lawful residence. The other problem is that before 24th of November 2016, you must show, say, if you are now be renewed visa, if you are now NISCA. Again, I want to dwell on the parents' route. Now, almost say after 10 years, we indefinitely to remain. Then I'll move further to other categories. If you are before 2016, 24th November, I'm running to say, so person we should 10 years lawful residence. Now, through that period, we live no expire more than 28 days, and sana what do application here to more, and also to make now so to refuse. I think of for be a honchaba. Nevesa, obey renewal, no be another jar to work a crab, be a new funeral. The person of for channels will say, if it's more than 28 days, cab in it, and also you are there, or me to me, and they refuse you. Obviously, these days there is a fee waiver, and under no circumstances as visa baby especially if you're on the human right route like parent, long residence, like private life and all that. And so making sure so better apply for fee waiver to renew your visa rather than waiting so bad expire. Because if you say, you're on 10 years live to a route to indefinite, your baby it's not automatic. The person got 4 channels. So we move after 24th of November 2016, going forward now. This has been reduced to only 14 days. And it's always now expire for more than 17 days without any compelling reason. And also you are there, it may refuse you. And again, you don't also get the paragraph 3C right now. So remember the paragraph 3C right of the 1971 Act, Immigration Act, is only available to those who are not bedroom and some are Muslim. Where you are there, percent go for under the 10 years lawful residence to remain to indefinitely to remain. May cause obviously in said 10 years I want to take opportunity to again acknowledge viewers, because without viewers I'll be here and somebody will say, so look, I'll be talking to myself. So it's always important that I acknowledge viewers. And so, there, and then I will be sharing. Please, you can put a comment. Normally, platform way is a community platform. We'll be to maybe some questions on the Facebook or YouTube. I'll try and answer. And maybe ask me be a phone lines for Nkofo to ask questions. In some American is deep. So we be all normal on TSA. Maybe a phone lines now over to me abisa question. Me and many we think your friend Thomas Beyebenwo from City Law Solicitors. Now, as I'm saying, I'm about acknowledge my viewers. Obviously, if someone who an Afrima or her anchor, I'll be surprised. And Afrima, I hope you are very, very well. Say we give God all the glory. It's true. We give God all the glory because today is the 30th. The month has ended. We are going to enter into the month of December, a month for the birth of Jesus Christ, our Lord. So we give God the glory. Cornelia said that, good evening, Lawyer Thomas. Cornelia, thank you so much. You're also always there. It was very insightful. Yes, everything is quite deep here. We have Feza Zenua is watching. Feza, thank you so much for joining us. We have Nicholas Nkrumah is watching. Nicholas Nkrumah, I hope say Omoye. Meto on Kanche. Yadamias say na wasu abeka Vichia ono musafo ina. Robert Amakujo, powerful. Robert Amakujo is my own cousin. We share it's my own cousin in Ghana. Robert Amakujo, thank you so much for being on platform tonight to support me and City Law Solicitors. I have Kwaku Opoku or say Albert Kwaku Tando. Oh, Mr. Tando. He said, or say, I'm looking and listening to you, lawyer, Mr. Tando, which will be a, I was say, also tell me, Rebecca, Emma, Jumano, Kama. I also have Tina Tamaklu. Tina Tamaklu also, Metawase, say, Rebecca, I have Nana Kwame watching. I have Frank Owusu, Metawase, say, also, Rebecca. I have Comfort Konto. Hey, Konto. Oh, yeah. Bichia, why? Oh, one and only original MC Chaka. Mr. Joseph Nikwe is also watching. I have Mata Danso watching. I have many more that I have not been able to mention their names. But keep watching and keep sharing the videos. What we are discussing here is deep. Very deep. I'm trying to always... You know why? Because I have a background in economics. So I always try to maximize the benefit for clients. Because as a lawyer, that's what we are paid for. To help clients to get the best legally. To benefit from their legal rights. So that is what City Law Solicitors brings to you. These 10 years I've spoken about, I'm sure people enjoy and will say, hey, so 10 years, he cried over Shokra, and made him indefinite, number 12 years so. Maybe I won't train, but I'm telling you today, say, instead of say over trains, now I renew for what you assess. Sometimes it's good to pause. Now, why assessment? I hear say, oh, so I renew bed 3 times. Anytime be a book you were home office will be at 6 months. Lawyer say lawful. What the bomb be a medical 24 months already. And the nurse way in a count, and he say be a edu ewu and son of Miami renewal because made me rely on 10-year lawful residence. So that's about the 10 years. Maybe move to 20 years. 20 years for it they do on more. Sometimes my application are more. I am because I can't imagine. So Bettina Gloom has 20 years and Sana Anibia Yamawon Krata. Yayi. Nanum Ponso Pono. It drew on them say 20 years and also class we are very sometimes not there are a lot of complications. And so no do on my 20 years and so no maybe take him a time I judge him. kakra kwan ankofo be fa so a se mpo no omo ni de say omo di gina so because omo ntumi show bibia kwan hodro betimi de gina so de gina so de ayo 20-year rule no. So again, let's go straight into this. 20 years. So we share under the long residence rules said that my can 10 years it 10 years that my can say it has to be lawful continuous residence for 10 years. So that's for the 10 years. 20 years, it doesn't have to be lawful. It can be partly lawful along the line. No be a kwasa ibu ono ma oba kroma say oba bia na oba no on krata kra wo firo de ba oba bia na ba say obi o kra obenya nkrata later nkrata no say ibu o kra na o de ye adwuma o ye adwuma kudu ba bia wale yi fu ebi idu say bia o kwa ko renew no want to me a renew bi nkrata na say. And it's over 20 years anymore. Rules anymore. And I just say, and no unhia visa. Can no before 2012 July 2nd of July 2012 no. Now I have 14 years. And person go for so why I feel sad for these people, but at the same time, why I feel say a very important church because gradually, we are finding out that there are a lot of nkofo almost share corners or 20 years to come say. Omufi se bia or do be near man a year juma and I say anything on peso be tumpo. And that Lawyer Thomas, Baba Betna say, me Baba Chiro Quine. A choir, no matter the circumstances, no, what be fast or now you say root no, at a young crata. And instead of not making 20 years unlawful. As I say, we show again, I say we show say what na continuously. But continuously, even if so unlawful, krana, there obey to me, I show. So there is also a way for you to show that we stay in our room in air continuous. Instead of making before 2012, 2nd of July, no, now you 14 years rule. Now you're very, very generous. What me show say what we have 14 years, sir. What me apply now I'm indefinite straight away. Now I'm indefinite straight away. 2nd of July 2012. Theresa May and David Cameron, the then Conservative Prime Minister, Adaroma. Omochi ademu chum say afedie 14 years na ono omode ko 20 years. Na sa 20 years numpo no wudu sa 20 years na afe na oba apply for another 30 months. Now also, why 10 years route to indefinite leave to remain. And it's our friend who say, oh, back home, now I did 30 years, sir. Obedi 20 years, now I did 50. Now I say, at transfer 10 years, and sana. And to be already 60, now by being indefinite leave to remain. And that's why I'm going to take my time. Until I'm a person taking my time, I'm a church and go for ways around some of these things, and especially those in the vulnerable circumstances. Make up vulnerable more be more yaro and same be a war more quen. And this always share more 20 years. If you are what na 20 good years. But how far uniamanya jumada? We need be just say what now 20 years. And obviously in so no home office for your application. Now say What's about now 20 years? Be our best out of buy why lucky ukuta. So Oba is here 2021, Oba 2001. Ukuta obesano. But ebi a wonni bibia e kire say throughout that period no. Waba oba ye no. O bibia e kire say what na 20 years. Until we koya application na. Like I say, what sign abishia another difficulty. Now we na me ba be biem kofo ani. Say sample wo file sa udin no emfa anya adwuma da unya sa proof of address no continuously because we should at least every year bia no already mark chenko for say a year no under the 10 years lawful residence no say we should say 180 days no more than 180 days you were not abroad into work room at least 2 or 3 documents every year quarterly year say we should say now, and there are various sources of those documents. People are crying now, Ninyama or a proof now, Kutano. When we say, be I am about if you make us say, hey, now only in Kratana, Niama, Diama, would to be our Tony now. To obey us application now, would need be our debauchery. Now, we know, Emrano says, again, there is a new case, I think last year, and I've been making a lot of noise about this case, the case of Al Ahmed, Upper Tribunal case. And also making it clear, say, but before I explain this case, especially for those any proof of address, ne bibi a show say, omo atna for sa enfie dodo na omo ka no ana say obi ode obi niama ye adwuma obi kura de obi din excuse me say na oda go BGP and you show me how no or de obi pay na chiro obi pay na ye bibia nti no to prove say what na ha no and so be a problem before mbeko further to show you guys the way, you know. I mean, look, share what they call the suitability requirement. Now, previously, under the suitability requirements, you know, so what Trump say when you have criminal convictions that depending on the nature of the criminal convictions and then under the Rehabilitation Act in 1974, so I'm so sure. Like I said, there is a duration I say says our conviction no, is a stand, and I say expire, and yes, input 20 years, you know. So a criminal conviction be sometimes I expire, you are supposed to disclose it to let them know, say, be a maybe. Not be a medubinia man a year to my chairman. Be a convicted me for 3 months and I'm a suspended sentence. And I say, you need to disclose it. Because if be a rehabilitation period, not a pound, but you still have to disclose it. And power one is likely that that application could be refused. Now, in the past, under suitability requirements, no. So, your application, I'm fan and say, a cobase, be out to be near my jumada. Not be any dinner could peer near Mamua. Now, home office, I can also say, or more Eddie, Ginaso, Eddie, I refuse. Now, we show the case of Aram, but not to say a case is an Indian guy, or by say no. Will be British now or they are registered GP or they are here Jumasa or the NBBA. It do also apply indefinitely to remain. A didn't copy home office say a fraud say or you be doing a year Jumantino or more air refuse soon application. Now, court or no, at Nancy, can say. Yes, Shemrano. Emrano say residence no unlawful. And those 20 years rule now. Residence who yes will show say, oh, on cat our krum has say. And now we invalid visa be our krum has say. na sɛ wohwɛ ne samra ne mu saa de ne wo hia sɛ mpo na de obi niama na yɛ adwuma kra mpo na ɛsɛ mo use against you, because it means say utumi show say na wo ha say ya eno a na mra na kire say show na se me pese me am gist of this case na sa ni pa kwa the case ko pia pa tribunal ya established case. I'm saying it with authority. Say if you are relying on it to make your application, if you don't have enough evidence, and one reason or other or complicated, this is on camera. Now say we are taking you through that process now. It simply means that any pacono, not your bidding and registered GP. But the GP was able to confirm, as soon as see and then who say a friend amai. Now wabaha so many times. Now we say a friend kuju. And in that case, GP not to me confirm say, oh, Chrome has say. And home office requirements is either you are GP, church, or proof of address, and a juma whether illegally or legally. Now the camera. The one that GP has confirmed say this person and not ten be over has say, and then man say a fellow ama. Nemo not the question at the bar ever has a medical help. No. It means that you have proven say what na throughout that period na GP naka. Sempo eyo obi dina what the accesses are medical assistance na, because all you need to show is residence for 20 years. And the court number almost 40 years says it is wrong. Some make say because any pacono are useless a fraud, and the omo use against him to refuse him the leave to remain under the 20-year route. And this is a good message for more abia. One reason or the other, what you be near man a year juma. Now I want to mean proof address and all those things. There are various ways of showing it. Because I say this on authority of the case law of our Ahmed. So going further now, obviously say affair na wabeka ho me pese what he has said na discuss immigration. Long residence. Madika discuss 10-year route no. Me discuss 20-year route. And go for the big so the anyan krata. I've already said say we share more na che say Kofo be under the 10-year route almost. We were going to debate 2 years and some 12 years, sorry. Some indefinite leave to remain. And so, when you say what is almost a 10-year route, on the key paragraph 3C, which is a murdered one in book, I do a home office in Serbia 7 months, 6 months, 5 months, 4 months. Putting in I can one. We won't solve it in a short 10. Sir, 10-year route part, no more look at your amount. Now I apply indefinitely to be under the 10 years law for residence. But they can actually go for that. You see, they make say or more matter for 20 years for one reason or the other, no. And you be paying a churro or to be paying a co-GP. You we need to be out show say rankers any DNA just what the attack room has said. And so we should more should now about 20 years. Mona may say there is a case law that has opened floodgate. And it's only mobia already 20 years of Chrome has say. Now I call you do one alliance so any proof address into me to me wow. And I be say to me more I mean I'm a stremo. So I go for a mission. The apparatus and I have found a ye. Yeah, they said the apparatus the vein. And it's only mobia me border room. And I don't know, Monsieur Mr. Joseph Nikwi, Mampon Hinaba. Say, maybe 2 million, number T, my children see. Between me, be a matrasi, me banana me becasa, me just, I don't come here to give fiction. I give facts and authority. So, when you will be our shakwana, be a nature say, I did 20 years, now you be a proof of address in your memoir when you went here. Yes, Ramo, Momra. I can say Bebuam. more the room. Why? Now, the person I can say, so 20 years, he says, it falls under the fee waiver, which means, say, Niska. Now, say, won't you mean Kowanim? What did 20 years? What will be near my ear to make a crown or genadie? We can cannot attend the menstrual. It means fee waiver. No mean application fee no yet about what do you need about 2,615 NHS charge an application fee. But a application that falls under the human right. So it falls under fee waiver category. It means sermon. So what was asked to be anymore? A crime be a my why. I said I miss you can't call. But taking my time, I change of form. Near 20 years no on. Time I SSR. Near my sir, or modi agency no modi show say. Or modi 20 years. Now some when this near mana a crime vein. Now over faso. Now I show say. Minister near no. Nemu ebiana me do be pen natural. Ebiana me do be chair na call GP. Lawyer crime ben na be faso. And I mean sis wa kyerem say the case of Al Ahmed, I say with authority, say, Canada Home Office, issue Saturday as a fraud against Nkofo to refuse them service. And then Mechra will say, Emra Makwan. Enti. Say, Unyante ya, me boda ru. Kanchile unya, kanchile o mame, kanchile o ante, kanchile o ofa. Say, kwan bi, abi, ama yena. Enti. Meko short break, maybe phone lines. Na ma chenko phone so be a omo enyan do 20 years no. But omo circumstances is so dire. Who be kwa na ho ye mobo. Onyan do 20 years no. Omo ye strict. But I'm not say the representation from the representative no should also be given due attention and consideration. It means say because of my economic background, I maximize the benefit of the law for my clients because I represent their best interest. The city law says we represent the clients for their best interests. And my colleagues, all of us in that office, make sure say every benefit that the law ascribes to clients, we discuss with them. And he may call short break. I'm going to discuss in conference will be need 20 years. Then they are vulnerable. What can they do? Oh, yes, I'm trying. Kiss I'm 20 years now, and I'm apply. And somebody refuse you. Oh, but you have a condition. Oh, a situation you be more, and also puts you in a vulnerable situation. Makes it difficult for you to reintegrate if you are taken back to Ghana. A crime bang now once over fast war. Obey to me. Higher application, even though we do certain. May call short break. But before I go break, I want to acknowledge the viewers who are still watching. And City Media Radio, those of you listening, I share that radio link, so I know most of you are listening. I want to thank you all who are listening to the radio. City Law Solicitors is the only law firm that brings you radio station to make sure that wherever you are, you can benefit from this program and then send the good news to your friends and family. Me deep to make sure, say, the community of City Law Solicitors benefit. And may require a short break. I'm coming to discuss more into vulnerable situation. A crime ban almost so almost fast so only 20 years that home to me and you stay. So let me acknowledge my viewers, and then I'll go for my short break, and then come and discuss the last part of this show. Now. Will be at me Officer of friends no be say questions Miss Shremo asem we da makoma so. So be the 20 years we chrome has say. Na say or so the bitter and a chro. Na say wa ko ba bi o me say o muntumi mmoa. Ala say bi ayare bi abono. No yan do that time no mo say ni say Miss Shremo. They are pro attitude no. And a city laws was a fire in here to Miss Shremo. Momo da will my castle. This application no to me claim fee waiver. So you have nothing to lose at all. Because what if fee waiver na ye? And if you are kakra bit you my lawyer. Now aboa I enunti na bi obetena wo saa na na. Na mo ma share Bible mu. Mo hwe kofo a no mo gu ho no mo a na chese o mo say try say ya ebewu ye kɔ nso so a entumi nwa ye bewu and ye nkɔe o mo kɔe na nyame sunsum no etmu eboa o mo nantie ya ba far kwa na mankofo no mo dwane the miserable. There is a fee waiver for this 20-year route, so it's opportunity for people to make application to regularize their stay. I'm going to acknowledge my viewers. They are so important to me. I have Cornelia, I have Nicholas, I think I've acknowledged you already. Kwakwo Poku, Tinatama Kro, Franco Usu, Joe Chaka, Matadanso. I have Peter Mensah is watching. Peter Mensah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Kwakwo Poku said, yes, it is true. I'm here to hear what Koku meant by yes, it's true. But I believe that he's concurring to what I'm saying. Covenant Grace, you're telling Kanche. I'm happy that you are here. I think you want to ask a question. I mentioned a question, maybe, sir. Please, private life application for applicant over 18 years, but have been in the UK for less than 20 years. Does it stand alone successfully for visa application? Oh yes, Covenant Grace. Let me just give. This is part of my. Because I was saying that I was going to look at all the long residents. I'm even going to look at children already 10 years. So I say, and the question where I be now is an opportunity for me to explain them, because this particular concession, we are ban again. Nana Pokua entry Ajay is watching. Thank you. Now, Covenant Grace, I want to answer your question before I mix out. The question is, please, private life application for applicant over 18 years but has been in the UK for less than 20 years. Does it stand alone successfully for visa application? For applicants over 18 years, I'm not sure whether you were referring to the recent concession, because the question looks like the recent concession, which is 20 years but below 14 years. But the question is that but has been in the UK for less than 20 years. Okay, I think you are referring to the concession, but I will give, as a lawyer, I will give a broad explanation to encompass the two. Now let's look at the new concession. Now, I must say, so what now we are under 18 years. Sorry, we are above 18 years, but below 24 years. Now, we spend half of your life in the UK. In the past, now get over to 10-year route to indefinitely to remain. The new concession says that, so if we're on it for 5 years, then your next application will be to me accept for indefinite leave to remain. Now, we share concession now. There is a little bit of ambiguity there, and this is my honest opinion about it. and also having studied that concession critically, you know. 1, 18, above 18 years, below 24 years. 5 years on that leave, you also can apply or request for indefinite leave to remain. And the case worker will take into account factors that obviously quite broad. But the ambiguity there is that if you say 18 years and above, but below 24 years, most of those people who are on that route would have been more than 24 years by the time they're on the 5-year route, that they have had their second visa to make it 5 years. It would have been more than 24 anyway. But again, clearly, if you look at the intention, even though we now, it's a bit ambiguous, which may mean that some about 24, no, they may not be entitled to it, you know. But clearly, you know, we share the intention of it. Anybody that falls within that category, even if he's above 24 years, you know, should be able to also apply and request for that indefinite leave to remain, provided he has spent 5 years already. So to answer your question, you know, it's a standalone, because obviously if the person is more than 18 years, and I know that you're a very intelligent man to ask this question. So if that person has been more than 18 years, and you are talking about this 20 years, less than 20 years, it means that he falls within the category of the half a life concession. But even though clearly, you know, a lot of those people are going to be more than 24 years by the time they have been on that visa for 5 years. But clearly, the intention of that concession is for those people, which means that they can make that application. But again, this is another thing I want people to understand. And I'm sure that, anyway, let me just say, because I know some colleagues here and there may even learn from this. That thing is for you to request, which means that even if you are making your extension under the same route, you make a request in your representation. But it's a matter that I'll reserve for consultation. But Covenant Grace, I think this answers your question for those above 18 years, but less than 20 years. So obviously they are going to be more than 24. So that answers your question. I have Nana Yao Owusu Afrifa as a taco. Thank you so much, my nephew, who has also been always helpful in supporting us to go through this program. Now, so Covenant Grace both. Yes, when I come back, I'm going to look at those who have been in this country for less than 20 years, but they have some very special circumstances. The law says that they should be able to be granted that leave. And I'll look at the medical condition, which is Article 3, and I also look at within the rule itself, 20-year rule, no, how those people can also fit in. So don't go away. Give me just a minute, and then I will come back and come and continue. Open the phone lines for you guys to ask a lot of questions. Thank you. Don't go away. If you are watching the YouTube, I entreat you to stay on because I'm just going for a short break. Besan back. Say we hear radio na me call it. I'm sure say within a minute now I'll be able to tap some water and then come back and come and open the phone lines and answer questions. Na machime mo bia ntime anko Mr. Mo bia anko. Ontwen. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being patient. Masayaba, said I make Sisiano. 4 lines na be. I'm ready for all your questions. I must let me take the opportunity to tell people what city law solicitors specialize in, and if you have any question in any of these areas, don't hesitate to phone in. The phone lines are on the screen, and they are also in the Facebook comment section. But for the benefit of those who are listening to the radio, I'm going to shout out the phone lines. Na obia tumiahu anyebia number na so bi otie radio, so otie radio na so person o frɛ me a also oka agro no ho betumi afrɛ. Enti we hwɛ mu a city law solicitors ye wo backing. So we hwɛ agyira kwan a udru backing a upie fee station one on na say o turning right to be on KFC and answer Santander Bank. O turning right oba onim kakra nya yira kwan. O be on city law solicitors. Your office na ye unit 113 Backing Enterprise Center. 50 Cambridge Road, Backing, IG 11 8FJ. Your office telephone number no 020 33 55 0782. 020 33 55 0782. Mr. Mumisanko Bebre or my mobile number. I only use one mobile number. I try as much as possible to answer. But obviously, and yet be a bit a phobia call. Sometimes be a name be a mark. For example, I know the whole day na me employment tribunal hearing. Mean to me in fact cause unless break time. Offer officer me call this one be a case in a very urgent or me pick a phone na omono wa kasa. I enjoy advocacy. Yeah, me a lot of advocacy. Sometimes over for be a me court mean to me in fact call. Nti me sramo. Wo me number kra na try say obey we obey office number 020 33 55 0782. I hope that the commentators on the platform who are making comments on the Facebook will put the office number there for the benefit of everyone who is watching this program. So please put the phone number, office phone number and address there for viewers. Now, city law solicitors, nyama bebre ebini immigration ya me bo hon komwe ma church nkofo nyama mu science housing civil litigation, commercial dispute, science employment laws. You were now lawyer. As I said, the whole of yesterday, now we employment tribunal dealing with somebody case who have been unfairly dismissed, and then also racial discrimination. And I treat you says so will be a in a D nase and fact and papa so will be whom here. Yabeboa city law solicitors, we are there to assist. Oshe Munsua, family law, fancy say, our Yayaba, now Ushian lawyer, not Wabuao, domestic abuse, so Ocean occupation order, non molestation order, Uba, my own who banner we have contact order. All those family law areas, matrimonial law, Yakovani na Oba, Yabeboa. We need if you want personal injury and clinical negligence when your car goes here and you're fault. What could you mark with Tiashi and your fault? What could Tesco as I could tell the ensure go on water from when you cry when you cry by 3,000 to 4,000 you will be. And Tino, so cases in a city law solicitors, Yaba, Amamu. You cover all these areas. Into what Tiashia, your honor, your bebo, your best so more per job. What could you know prayer? Your bebo, Say you were deny fa kwan papa so e be gisika ma. Anti wo hwe mo city law there, ba bia obefa bia no city law sources. Oh, I say phone cushion. Then bia e pese e boa. Na nkofo enya hoto. Na edemra no so na eye adwuma edemra no be fa so said am aka no phone lines so are open already. While some meka niama eye no say wo question bia na opese obisa anye bia obetumi abisa. Ma ye crowd say mbe answer questions no. Wo hwe mu nso a yesan consumer law most of the time no. Mabaha discuss a lot of consumer law issues. You are right to reject the goods. You are right to reject goods which are faulty and all those stuff. You are right to claim compensation when things go wrong as part of your consumer right. Mabaha discuss media and entertainment law, and also there say be autonomous and also be every program now here will be man draft a contract to ensure that you are not cheated at nina so your has a beboam and way near be prayer city law sources said I make kind of time no my city time no I just want to person make kind yama want to be paid so for now be kind ho sorry radio for no say mo pese more free agro no so and ahoma no so a mo betuma afre number side here adwuma o ha sei ne ye studio ha sei no 07932934518 Mrs. Subium studio number no 0793293 4518 so person free fia manonia with man 0044 79 32 93 4518 and I say 0744 033 8623 where numbers are every day studio has sometimes people are even if you no be afraid some numbers you live for studio has you know your bar studio and easy numbers question be have say ubisa ubitumi abisa intino ha mama say throughout this spare 5 minutes I maybe be studio as you know question be abitumi abisa now me ba program na we bia onya di 20 years no say the marker no and our situation it doesn't fit into any of these things that I've discussed but we are very vulnerable. There is what they call exceptional circumstances. Now this exceptional circumstances is quite broad. It covers will be a beer why yare na beer on said that neighbors we are for fear or qua on to me integrity. In fact, there is an established case law, the case of Pavan versus the Secretary of State 2018, which is a court of appeal case. It sets out clearly, say, if you are saying that you have exceptional circumstances, no, then that has to be particularized. It means, say, Oba Emremua, say, men are may represent her and a lawyer no represent her. Now say be a need 20 years. Na mo be a situation no be a why are kakra be a nyama bi wo no my chance say wo kọ Ghana na do kọ fia. Ebema ahokyere abawafo. Ebema it is going to be so difficult, insurmountable difficulty to you. Na just say one so no e be a need 20 years no. Also akwenya or ma also bitimi aya application menka article 3 obviously mo amutie mi amoye lawyers you know say you can't take 3 more medical conditions, serious medical condition more about the moribund stage of your life no that is also available there. But I'm talking about exceptional circumstances, which is different from the Article 3 circumstances. And they say, be aware any of these situations in the Muna say we hear very particularized advice on this particular issue. As I've said, Obi to me, I'll contact you. But and then my Baba chair for 10 years, go for be on bet now more about 12 years, even though they are 10-year route, that they can use the 10-year lawful residence route, to apply to shorten their route to get an indefinite leave to remain. 20 years. In case of our Ahmed, if, for example, to me prove say, proof of address now to be near man a year, Juma to be near man a co-GP, my church, whom we acquire which me a faso. I call out address a one or crew master, I did 10 years, automatically, eligible to apply to register and get a British passport. So that's another 10 years route for those who are born here. Half of life, common grace beside question, obviously, So, crew must say, we are below 18. Sorry, above 18 but less than 24, there is a new concession. So while on that leave for 5 years, then you can request for an indefinite leave to remain, and certain factors will be taken into account. And more mobile on radio for no YouTube, no Facebook for no, and anagri we na me debe tu again Kwame Yeboah once we be kai ho me da was pass we be kai ho. Asante Benjamin Kweku say watching, but I was say Chantel Adu is watching. Chantel Adu, thank you so much for coming to join us. Kojo Wusu is also watching. Kojo Wusu, thank you. I'm so grateful for all of you who are watching us tonight. I entreat you to share these videos to be to make sure say be benefited from this free legal advice. A very deep advice na mama platform so. I have reserved certain things for consultation purpose because of the sensitivity of the information, And he said, people have now say our situation more yare, we did 20 years, and to me, evidence and say, what is 20 years and I will show so at house for 20 years and Munim Sanko for no Mishesha, Mama, yes, or Mombra, no me. I've also my cousin, and also one of the rules are more eligible for fee waiver. It and also ya there and also ebwa manko for ewe. And I'm saying say obviously Georgina Aye was hello. This is Georgina Aye from Croydon. Georgina J. Good. May God make your work prosper. Oh, Mama Georgina. Ya mishira. Ya da abia se see as we have of BBI. Kama. But I say, no, Bushra for which you be. So, at year for and let me be to be 10 years route. Quanko for the first on young crater. 20 years route. Quanko for the first on young crater. More exceptional circumstances. I must say, Tremu, Yaria, Quandada. Na, you be a do coffee, Crana, be a one share. Be a do a quack share with you on more. As we need 20 years. I want you to wafa. A quite by now be first on young crater. Now they are to just say, under the exceptional circumstances, under the case of Pavan versus the Secretary of State 2018, a very established court of appeal case, also gives guidance on how those people, beat me higher application, normal subsidy for limited leave to remain. In the analogy, Madame say, Mube Kaya home. Thursday, original MC Chaka, Mr. Joseph Nikwe, the probation officer, well-learned man, obey joining me platform so to do the English section, a English section on the same topic, a go deeper into Mesramo, Mama Bekaya one, and I'm more to me anti program, and I'm more be a tree in Yamokasano, obey to my. And I will be Oya Latani, Cameroon, when I hear Juma, or do be pen a tro. Nin said, O say, baby, or crana, while you are near the Nina, I catch a lawyer, be or conahasi, or sister uncle for the apparatus, no fire in ye into I cradle was uncle for Nina. And Tazi on Yame at the young quite chair, a best now Bahasi, now bet to a Jumana so. And Mada Opiase, say Nana G. Uveka yehu. Yewura new month. I'm sure by Thursday, be where December a month Christopher sombo yimaye because I know a month I would the Jesus Christ a ma honto a ba yafa ti verse nyame say on fire nkwanche na ensam review atazi ne na be ti agro platforms me do bi ase na mi hira mu nyina. Thank you very much. Thank you.